what I realize now, after all these years, that when you have a structure behind you, right? When you have something that anchors you, there's more freedom of flow. Opposite. I really truly thought that my structure was destroying me, was destroying my flow, my nature. It took me years to actually be the pure rebellion person. Wanting to grow my business now, I'm like,
what I have been like not discovering from all the entrepreneurs I've been consulting in the last 4 years, it's that all the structured profiles, they grow faster their business. And the ones that are not structured, it's more difficult for them. In one day, they disperse their brain like so fast. And I need to help them. Let's do a flow chart.
hola Karen.
Hello, how are you, Rainy?
I am good. I am happy that you're here and that you accepted my invitation.
Yes, thanks to you.
I found you through the beautiful global social media.
Okay.
Yeah, the revolution of our time, I guess, depending on when you were born. But it has changed a lot, the community and how we outreach to other people. And I think it's very important. It's a beautiful tool. It's a deadly tool, but also a huge blessing. I wonder, where in the world are you right now?
I live between San Miguel de Allende and Mexico City. San Miguel de Allende is a beautiful city, and Mexico City, well, it's the opposite completely. So I have my two like safe places, chaotic and the peace one.
Beautiful. That's a privilege. I do that when I live sometimes between like New York or Dominican Republic, and I need it. I need both to live. And
Yes.
it's so nice that you have that. I mean, Mexico is pretty big. I've been to the city, but
Okay.
not outside the city.
You need to go one day to different cities we have. It's a huge country.
Beautiful country. I was so memorized by the history, but also the modern. Like, it's so modern, it's so big, and the contrast is really impressed me.
Yes, it is. And more if you came like from New York City and different city, it's a big culture and big difference. Principal the economy, of course.
Yes, but also a lot of people. There's a lot of people in
Yeah,
Mexico. It's an
20
abundance.
million.
Wow. How many in
Yes.
the city, do you know?
The city it's I think like 12 million, and like around the city, Mexico City, that it's closed because it's so big. So there, that it's called Estado de Mexico. It's like 8 million people. So together it's 20 million people.
It's very saturated in the city because Mexico is
Very,
so
very.
big.
But as well, you have like a big opportunity, business opportunity, and all the people wants to move to Mexico City, like to grow, to start a new business and many things.
Is that what you're doing now?
Yes, I think I this San Miguel de Allende is like my peaceful place, but Mexico City it's like my creating place. I like to arrive and start moving, meeting people, going like with all my entrepreneur ecosystem, the people I've been like meeting and I had like meet 10 years ago. So yes, it's more like that.
Beautiful. It's interesting when, like, every step of our lives we get to meet different people based on what we are attracted to in the moment. For example, like, before entrepreneurship, in my case, I was meeting a lot of people that were working, right? That were working under a company. And then or volunteering. I used to love volunteering. So a lot of my friends love volunteering in the city and like bringing awareness to people of what's happening. And then when I started, my business, it was the same. Like, everything changed. like all my surroundings change. Now the people that I'm surrounded with is like entrepreneurs everywhere.
Yes, always happens like that, and I think it's okay. You don't need to move all the time in the same circle. You need to be flowing and moving with people like the name in English feed you, like feed your brain, your heart.
Beautiful. I saw something you mentioned before our meeting, and you mentioned the word the golden circle. And I was wondering what that is because I have no clue.
Okay. Golden Circle is a theory about all the companies. They know what they do, all of them. No, they manufacture, they produce, they know what they do. They do a package, they do whatever. But just a few, they really know why they do the things. Why is the reason, the being, the reason, the motivation, the soul of the company. So this theory, I really love it, and I like to show. I'm a business consultant, also, and I teach in some marketing classes. And I always, the first thing I do is to teach this, the golden circle, because as a company, as a project, like starting a project, we need to start thinking about the why we're creating something, which is our reason, what is our motivation, what we want to, which is like we need like to make a social impact, a sustainable project, no? The why. Sometimes the small business, like a barber shop, a beauty store, no small business, a hair salon. Sometimes it's difficult like to put a why because it's a small profitable business, but there's no why. So you need to start thinking why. You need to make like to lift something maybe in your employees. You need to teach them maybe in something they will then pick impact in other people. So always you can make a why in your project, in your company. So for me, it's very important, the golden circle theory. It's really, really important because I think it's the only way we will grow as una comunidad, as a community. It's the only way we will grow.
I agree. And I'm wondering, what is your why? What is your why in the moment, in this moment?
I love that question because I think it's something I'm always thinking, and I'm trying to grow myself and to make trying to impact more people. I think my why in this moment is show these little things to all the people I'm asesorando, how I can say. I'm consulting all the entrepreneurs I'm consulting, all the people like close to me. I have some friends, maybe I'm starting a new project, so I'm always trying to teach these small things because for me are maybe are small, but I think maybe in the future will be big. So I think that is my why.
Have you had that experience where you start something thinking it's only for specific people and then it grows and it has a bigger impact that basically you can control? Have you had that experience? I wonder.
For example, I started like teaching this golden circle theory like 4 years ago, not more. And I started my business beauty company 10 years ago. Maybe these first 6 years with a lot of mistakes I did. It was like from the mistakes I learned, like it's important to have this impact. I just create a beautiful, because it was a beautiful beauty business. Everything, a lot of art, Mexican art, amazing and beautiful cosmetics, lipsticks, eyeshadow palettes, everything was beautiful. But at the end of this season, of these 10 years, for me, I felt like empty. Like I needed to lift something else in the people, not just makeup in the face, making more, not just products. So I think I started consulting after this the last 4 years.
Beautiful. So you started from the outside and in a way that took you to the inside. And that is so beautiful because in my experience, I also did something similar. In a way, it started from the inside in the way of like passion, right? Architecture and design. I went to school for architecture. And I remember in middle school, I wanted to be an interior designer in New York. But it ends up when I decided to study architecture that I wanted more. I wanted to know how each element come together. So the inside of a wall, the mathematics behind the structure or electricity. I wanted to know how everything worked to then be able to create something, even if it's just an interiors or an exterior, but I wanted to know the foundation of it. And in a way, your passion took you to open a beauty brand. And then you are considering now that actually that is covering something deeper behind the people using my products. And I want to have that type of impact. And that brings
Exactly.
me, okay, yes.
No. Exactly. For the people is hearing us, I founded a company called Pai Pai, Pai Pai Cosmetics, PAI. We closed 1 year ago. It was alive for 10 years, a lot of time. So everything of we are talking about, it's around this. I think around the business I create and all the lifetime, the timeline, or everything we did and what I am now.
I go back to the golden circle and I have a little comment because you mentioned you love the rain and being outside and being adventurous. The audience doesn't know this, but you love that, right? And we can talk a little bit more about that. But I looked at I love the smell of rain as well. And a long time ago, I looked for the meaning or to know if there was a word that would describe the smell. And there actually is a word, and the word is called petrichor. And it's from the Greek word petra. And what is referring to is the golden fluid that flows in the veins of the immortals. So a
Okay.
golden fluid. And you're talking about the golden circle.
Okay.
I thought that was so beautiful, like the
The
combination.
connection.
Yeah. So talk more about your why did you decide to be outdoors and climb?
I love the outdoors activity maybe since 6, 8 years ago. Not too much. I mean, I'm 36 now. I started liking that kind of activities when I was 28 because I had a boyfriend that he likes a lot like those activities. So that's why I started like climbing mountains, doing like running and doing like different activities, workouts and outdoors. So, and at the same time, when I started being on the top of the mountain, climbing in forest, in this nature, I love really the smell of the mud. Automatically, it's like I'm moving like to a peaceful moment. And the raining, also the rain, I like the smell of the rain. And these activities, it's like the opposite of being all the time stressed, like in the work, stress in the daily routine. And these weekend routines, because I used to do that on weekends, it's like the my time, my space. And I don't do that every weekend. I just do sometimes. But those special moments, it's really a special moment and moments I keep like in my heart.
Beautiful. You know that I'm thinking about your timeline that you just mentioned. So 6 years ago, you started going outdoors more and trying to discover more the outdoors. And then 4 years ago, so 2 years later, you start teaching the golden circle.
Exactly.
And now you decided to shift your career path and completely and do something different. I wonder if you realize this, the coloration, the like connections, or is just something that feels so natural to you that it was like the combination of everything.
For now that you are saying, for me it was natural. I forget the word, natural, but I think it's part of the life of my life. It's the evolution. I talk a lot with a friend that lives in Tulum, and I live in San Miguel de Allende, so we have a different kind of life than Mexico City. So we talk a lot about evolution. And I think it's very important these different steps, life steps, for this evolution. I think it's important also be moving from what you are doing and moving what you do every time. The routine is important, of course. I do a routine, and in my food, in my workouts, I have a routine, but also I like to be moving and doing different, consulting different the projects, also what else. So this part is part of the evolution. And if we stop doing different things, we will stay in the same place. And also, maybe many people get in depressed, they stuck in the same place. So we need to move. We need to do more things. We need to help others. We need to make impact projects. We need to do more.
Beautiful. I wonder because I am a little bit of the opposite. I need a lot of time to pause and think what's next for me. But the thing is, you're right. When I don't pause, sometimes when I don't pause and give myself that time, there's so much movement and the other thing and the other thing, and things starts flowing more naturally. So I have both. I have the pause that helps me create from a different place, right? The why. So my pauses are always for the why. And then there's a pause out of fear.
Okay.
And then when I have that pause out of fear, then it's like stagnation. There's no movement. You know, the beautiful smell of the rain starts smelling rotten, all these things. So what you're saying, it's very beautiful.
Thanks. It depends in the personality. My personality is I don't know the name in English, but is aventado, arriesgado. I don't feel fear of anything. Of course, yes, but I think no. So I'm very proactive. I'm very persistent. I'm very independent. So maybe these kind of things I am make me start like moving. I don't know if I say what I wanted, but maybe it's also my personality. So it depends personality, and always no. Also, it's important to make pause, to make reflection, and to think it's okay. It's okay what I'm doing. It's what I want to do. I want to continue. I want to stop. I want to make a change. So the pause, it's of course it's necessary.
How do you know, if you do know, when what you're doing is not fulfilling enough or it's not having an impact, and that's why it's stagnant? Or like, do you know? I wonder.
When you feel that you are not fulfilling something, it's because you are not fulfilling something. I think so. Everything what I'm saying is what I feel. If I start thinking that I'm not fulfilling like my life, it's because it's not the way I want to go. So then I pause and I start reflecting, yes. I start reflecting and saying, no, it's not this way. I need to move on. So if you feel that you are not fulfilling, it's not the correct way. So, for example, I moved here to San Miguel de Allende 1 year ago for an adventure that at the end I couldn't do that project. It was a project, but very adventurous. Like 1 month, I decided like, I want to move. Okay, in 1 month I make the move. I did everything just like in 1 month. So and now I start like reflecting. I want to live here. I want to stay here longer. I want to, in Mexico, you say in Spanish, echar raíces. Echar raíces is
Roots.
roots, like to leave roots or stay roots or something like that. So I'm reflecting. I want to stay here. No, I don't want to. Okay. So I start like living between both cities. And we need to think, we need to move on, all of us, all the people. And I have a lot of friends that they are moms, they have a family, and also, and they have like their life, like, it's my life, it's like that. And no, I think we have our own personality, our life, and our life is not my son, my husband. Our life is myself. So they need to all the people they need to have like a life project, and not only business, a business project, life project, and in that project needs to be like an impact project. Everything will be different and would be different if that happens.
I agree. What is your life project right now?
My life project, you are asking me many things to start like treating in therapy, but my life,
You don't have to answer. It's okay.
no, it's okay because because the life project, it's about my life, it's about creating. I have discovered that I love to create, and create, it's not only to paint, or it's not only to create a project, a company. Create, the word create, it's what I like. I like to paint. I love to paint in canvas, oil on canvas, also acrylic. So I want to keep creating. That's my life project now. Keep creating whatever I want to create, but creating.
So, how do you create room to create? Like, I was wondering, I picture like, okay, how do you organize your day or organize your weeks to be able to have room for that to create?
I have like two different personalities. The open, the rebelde, the reveal, rebelde, how we can say reveal.
Rebel. Rebel.
But at the same time, I have the opposite. The very structured, I'm very structured, very organized. I have my daily agenda. If I have a meeting with a friend or with my mom, I also um, write that in my agenda. So I have like those different perfil, like how I can say perfil, profile,
Profile.
profile.
Calendar
So
profile. Yeah.
I forgot the question. It was about how.
Yeah, like, so basically, because you were mentioning, I lost the thought, but you were mentioning something. My curiosity was, oh, creating. You were talking about creating. And so my curiosity was, because you have the structure part, thank you for bringing that up, because to create a business, you need structure. And then, but you also have your rebellion inside, rebellious nature. And so I was wondering, how do you set aside time for your creations?
Very curious and very funny. In my agenda, if I want to start painting, if I need to do an artwork, I put in my agenda Saturday and Sunday, I block like hours. I block hours and I put I need to paint. So it's funny because I block hours like to create. I need to work 9 to 1, for example, my eating time, and then I need to do something about like my own projects. What is about my own projects? I'm a business consultant, so it's like my daily work. but at the same time I try like to make a space for my own creations, my own new projects and new ideas. So I try to balance my day between both the things I want to do and I like to do.
That is amazing. That is amazing because for many years I was the opposite. So sorry, I had so many activities, right? And the same. I would schedule my weekly thing. Then there was this moment where actually it was the first time I went to Costa Rica, and I I realized that I was focusing too much on my career, and I wasn't seeing like the big picture. I didn't have the why. I just knew it was my passion. I knew I wanted to succeed, but the why kind of like watered down eventually after years of doing the same thing. And I was dedicating so much time to my career and not my like my ends. I've always been about reflection, but there was like a little essence. And I've said this before, but I'm in this bridge, I'm looking at the huge alligators, and then a client calls me. I'm on the phone, my structure and my wanting picks up the phone, knowing that everyone knew I was in vacation, but I couldn't, so I took it. And then I'm like the contrast of career and the contrast of nature. Then I go to the beach, several beaches, and there's this woman, and immediately she says, "Pura vida." Pure life, right? Pure life. And you can see the pure life. So she's not saying it because of a custom. She's saying it because, at least for me, it felt real. I'm like, a pure life. What is that? What is a pure life? And that's where my journey started. And so I did a little bit of the opposite, which I do not recommend, to be honest, is like I destroyed everything. So in the sense of all my structures, I'm like, I'm going to get rid of everything. I'm going to get rid of my career. I'm going to get rid of everything I wanted to accomplish. Like I sold my house. I'm like, I've always wanted to live in a loft. So I moved to a loft and I just started like cooking out of passion. I mean, I've always cooked out of passion, but like more and more and more. And the reason why I'm telling this story, it's because what I realize now, after all these years, that when you have a structure behind you, right? When you have something that anchors you, there's more freedom of flow. And in a way, I thought it was the opposite. I really, truly thought that my structure was destroying me, was destroying my flow, my nature. And so, I had to be the rebellious in a way, it took me years to actually be the pure rebellion person. But coming back to that and wanting to grow my business now, I'm like, no, I need structure. I need to, yeah.
What I have been like not discovering, but or learning, maybe learning from all the entrepreneurs I've been consulting in the last 4 years, it's that all the structured profiles, they grow faster their business. And the ones that are not structured, they it's more difficult for them. More difficult. In one day they like disperse their brain like so fast, and I need to help them like, no, let's do a flow, let's do a chart like where we can start like checking everything. And the ones that they are structured, it's completely different. I try, maybe our audience who is listen, it's important to try make yourself structured. I know it's difficult, maybe with an Excel, maybe with different apps in the applications. I love to work with Excel because I love data, I love numbers, I love KPIs, metrics. So I like to see an Excel with everything. But you can start like a to-do list, and the prioritization It's okay, prioritization. It's very important. What happens with the entrepreneurs? That they have a lot of things to do and they do everything at the same time. But no, they need to prioritize everything. What they need to do as soon as possible, what they need to do like in 2-3 weeks, and then always you need to put like in stickers what is the first, second, and third. What is the prioritization like the most important? If you don't do that, the next one you cannot do it, like the connection. If you don't do the first one, the second you will don't never do. So it's very important, like for that kind of people and also for everyone, the prioritization for everything. For example, social media. If you don't create your strategy of the month, you cannot do all your art and the canvas for your social media. So first, you need to start doing the strategy and then the other. You cannot start doing your arts if you don't do the strategy. So there are small things for me are like basic things, but not for everyone. So prioritization it's very important, like for this structure, mental structure.
Beautiful. This I'm very visual to what I'm hearing from the golden circle, because I feel like we're still, talking about this. It's like the why is the center of the circle. And
Exactly.
then, okay, it is. Okay. And then how do you start creating that circle? I don't know if it's already created or do you start creating it? So I'm seeing like you're saying priority prioritization, whatever, that you put it like a little dot. And then
Mhm.
you cannot create from the other dots. So you create different dots, these different dots, until it creates almost like a circle. But you cannot fill it in until you finish the previous task. Is that how it is?
In the golden circle case,
Mhm.
in this case, the Y, the middle of the golden circle, is your object. Object is not the word. The
El objetivo.
objetivo. So the why is the objective. Everything around you do, you plan, you develop, and you work. It's to get into the why. So all the dots, all the bullets to you work for, it's because you want to get to the why. And not to get, it's to maybe can be get, maybe can be flow, maybe can be just a task, but everything in the top of your mind need to be the why. For example, if I want to create a project to help indigenous community in Mexico, so that's my why. I want to create a handcraft handbags. No, so that's my project. But my why is to help indigenous women in Mexico. So I need to do all my tasks, everything I need to work. It's to get in that, to help them. How I'm going to help them making that manufacturing. Maybe them will be manufacturing all the bags. Maybe them will be managing the social media. Maybe not the woman, maybe their daughters. Maybe I want to create a collage or a sessions with them to help them to know more about AI, to know more about marketing, because it's a community, indigenous community, I don't know in English. So maybe you teach them many things. So the why, that's the why. You need to construct all the bullets to get in that.
Beautiful. While you were speaking, I did this. So imagine if this is a circle.
Yes.
So these little dots are like the one that connects to the Y. So basically the Y is in the center, so it radiates out.
The why then is the how. Outside is the how. Outside of the how is the what. Every company, every business, every project knows the how and the what. All of them. But just a few the why. So that's why the why needs to be the objective, and you need to work in all that task in how, what to get into the why.
That is so beautiful. I am like so many thoughts I'm getting through this, but also I'm speechless as well. And one question I have is like, how do people find you? Like, or how do you take on new projects for consulting? And then I'm guessing these projects, for example, like the why that you were mentioning in the indigenous culture or area that you want to help them. How did you find that project, for example, or did they find you?
I don't do like many paid campaigns in Meta. Well, I don't do that. I just use my social media as personals. I love to use my personal medias to talk about beauty, to talk about business, to talk about myself, my family. Maybe boca en boca, no?
Word of mouth.
People they've been like know me when I was entrepreneur 10 years ago. I had a lot of mentions in many newspapers, in many magazines. So maybe those years they helped me to grow my community. I'm not an influencer, but I have a community. People, my community know me, so they start like following me via social media and texting me via DM, and that's the way they can look for at me like in my social media and Instagram as Rodarte, Rodarte, Karen. And I like to mention to talk sometimes about this. So that's the way I talk about the golden circle. And yes, that's the way.
Yeah, that's why I love social media. It has opened so many doors of creation in a way. It is a tool that is, it can be destructive or it can help us. And so in this case, you're using that power to spread your passions and your knowledge to other people. And so organically, you attract the people that want to work with you.
Exactly, very organic. That's the word. I forgot. Organic. I work, everything it's organic. And it's beautiful, as you say, it's beautiful. The people look for me, call me, um and send me message. Sometimes they send me message that they really help me. I'm growing a lot. I decide to make to turn my business into something else. So that's, I think that's the things, the small big things, they they change my mind and they feed my, as I started, they feed my heart and my brain.
Can you imagine like having to, after 10 years, having to close your business? And also because I'm guessing it brings like so much self, at least this is how I'm thinking. I don't know what, actually, let me ask it a different way. How was your experience and deciding to, for your business and for closing it after 10 years?
I decided to quit 2 years before we closed, and I decided that because for my mental health. For me, it's so important, the mental health. It's the most important, your own, then the others. So I had a burnout. I got depressed. I started like taking pills, antidepressant, anxiolytics, many things. So I decided to, it's first my mental health. So that's why I quit. And after 2 years, we closed because everything changed. And what I am today, I think, because many things, but a big percent it was about that. Makes me grow a lot. At the same time, I feel weak sometimes, but it was part of my evolution. The evolution I was talking about. It was part of my evolution, and it was part of why I needed to do. So it was very important, very sad, but very important because now my learning curve is huge. I know how to create a business, a big business, a medium business, and how to broke a business in a second, in 3 months. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. There's for me, I wouldn't call it weakness, if that's okay. I would call it, first I was thinking vulnerable, but you know what? It's courage. I think it takes courage to prioritize your health first, to prioritize yourself, and to shift the mentality of I'm ending something, I'm ending myself in a way. But what you're ending is that persona that was the business owner, that was the owner of Pai Pai. And then it's a creation of the new version of you. And
Yes,
we're,
yes, yes. I thought I was a different person, as you said. It was Karen of Pai Pai all the time. The people in the business, in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, it was Karen of Pai Pai. And I start saying, no, I'm not Karen of Pai Pai. I am Karen Rodarte. I have a life. I have dreams. I am a different person of Karen of Pai Pai. So there was many things I start like thinking. So that's why I decided that.
beautiful. Like courage, courage. And who am I, right? Who am I without this? Who am I without and all these like little dots again? Who am I without that? How am I without that? And that's where the core is. That's how I felt years ago as well. I was like, who am I without my career? Who am I without, the possessions I have? Who am I without this mission and vision that I created for myself when I was a teenager or before?
Yes, sorry to interrupt. One day
I
I
love it.
went to a mountain with a group, like we were like 20, 30 people, and we start doing like an activity with all of them in the mountain. And one of them start, you need to introduce yourself, not with your, not talking about what is your job, what you do. You need to talk about you. And that day I remember a lot though, because I always used to present me as I have a company, I have a beauty company, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm successful. And that day everything changed for me. So it was, who am I? I'm not Karen of Pai Pai. I want to introduce myself as I'm Karen. I love the animals. I love the dogs. I love to paint. I love to create. I love so, and I didn't answer like that. I start answer when I couldn't. But if I could, I would like start. I could like start saying I have a business. I have a beauty business. So that's why.
That is so beautiful. Who is Karen today for you? How would you describe her? If she wasn't you, how would you describe her today? It can
But
change
like that,
tomorrow.
I'm I love my dogs. I have two dogs, one puppy, one older. I love the art. I love to paint. Maybe I don't paint daily, but when I paint, I'm very happy. I love to create. I love to be creating all the time in my brain new projects. Maybe I don't develop them, but I like to create them. I love to be with my family. I love to be with my parents, with my sister, with my friends. So that's Karen.
I like Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Rainy.
Welcome. So talking about that and about structures, just a thought on the side, I'm thinking like, wow, if you're constantly creating or birthing like new businesses, even if they don't actually function, right? Or, come into fruition, you don't birth them. I wonder if like people, more than this than me, but people would buy those ideas from you. Like they have the time, they have the money, they have the staff, and then they create it. But you're giving, you're birthing these little babies in a way, but you're giving them, and it's not attached to gotten of blah blah blah?
The name of that in Spanish is semillero de ideas. Semillero, semilla, it's seed, like seeding ideas. I don't know if it works.
It works. It
So
works.
yes, maybe one day someone told me that, one friend, a family, I don't know. Like you should start selling your ideas, your projects, because I have a lot in my mind. I have like I have developed them in my mind. I have everything, the structure. So maybe one day I would do that for business and also maybe for hobby because I like to do that market research because I start always making market research. So maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I like that. I like that answer. The maybe because it's there's no pressure. Like the way you paint, right? There's no pressure. There's just a need to do
Mhm,
it from you.
mhm. Yes, yes, yes.
What do you do with your canvases after you paint?
Sorry?
What do you do with your paintings, your canvas after you paint them?
Oh, they are everywhere. I studied plastic arts in Bogota, Colombia, and some of that time are in Colombia in my friend's house. Some I have it in Morelia. I'm from Morelia. It's a city close to Mexico City, close 3 hours driving. For us, it's close. I have some here in San Miguel de Allende. I have some in Mexico City. All of them are with friends and family.
Beautiful.
But I want to, and my therapist told me that you should you should do like exhibition maybe in 1 year. You can start painting one per month without pressure, and maybe in 1 year you can do an exhibition. So maybe I'm starting planning that. Thanks for reminding me that.
I was thinking because it's just what I thought was when you're painting and you're seedling or creating, right? Seeds, putting seeds in pots. It's almost, but the business seeds, it's almost like the same. And there's a detachment from you, right? You're painting and your paintings are everywhere. And it's okay, they're everywhere. Like you don't need to hold them tight. And so that detachment is kind of related, or in my mind, to that ability of yours, that gift you have of creating businesses. And with that, I was thinking, so maybe that's your approach, maybe. But I was thinking like, oh my God, I should consult with you and my business as well. So maybe we can talk about that. Yeah,
Yes, of course.
I would love.
And yes, you are right. You are right about the connection between both things.
I think it's a different path than before, right? It helps you like with your boundaries, like, okay, remember, I am not of this. This is just one seed with one flower or different flowers, but it's just one little pot. And then I can create many flowers around me and not have attachment to either one. Just know they're beautiful and that they will be taken care of by the people that I'm giving it to, right? Or the people that are holding it. And I just probably just water it once in a while or come back to give it soil or new soil or new whatever plants need, but
Yes,
food, plant food,
yes.
plant food. So anything else you want to share with us today or you want to talk about?
Oh, I think we had an amazing. It wasn't interview. I think was a flowing uh, plática. It was so the word, as you said many times, beautiful because it's not everything about business. It's not everything about how to grow. Maybe yes, how to grow, but to grow yourself. If you grow yourself, you will be growing in all the ways, in all your life, in your side life. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm gonna stay with that about your structure helps you grow. I wrote that like structure creates faster growth. So, bringing it to ourselves, like if we have structure, everything around us grows. So thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate it so much. I loved your time. Those
Igual, thanks to you, and we will be in touch.
definitely.